And this is the OFFSITE
INSIGHT
podcast.
We'll get better at that, I promise.
Yeah.
This episode today is brought to you by the Creative Co-op again. For all of your advertising and design needs, please reach out to Gino and the team at tcco.ca.
Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Paul Larche. He's a board member at Barrie Cares. Hi, Paul. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us, and it's an honor for us to have you, and I'm excited to learn more about what Barrie Care is, and if you could get right into it, like what is Barrie Cares and why was it created?
Sure. Well, the Barrie Cares hasn't been around all that long. It's probably has a history of about 18 months, but really it was some community people. I would argue probably community leaders, people that are active in the community and business and in different areas. We're concerned, like so many other Barrie residents, about the homeless situation in Barrie and how the numbers had been increasing and how it's just been a real issue for the city and how it affects business and how it affects people and so on and so forth. So a few of us got together and put together, really it's a coalition, for lack of a better term, of business people that understand how to tackle complex problems. And this is a complex problem. Absolutely. And the first thing we did is we just brought a lot of business sense to how you tackle something like this. So we brought all the stakeholders together. So we brought the City of Barrie, the county, which technically it falls under their county, but also RVH and Barrie Police and Canadian Mental Health Association and the Chamber of Commerce, and we just brought the Georgian College. We just brought a lot of groups together that are affected directly or indirectly through this and can make decisions. And what we found out, it shouldn't be a big surprise to people, as we found out that a lot of these organizations are terrific organizations, but they do work in silos. They work individually, and they don't communicate as much as we would hope they did. So we brought them all to the table together, and we did a lot of research, and this is actually something that Georgian College helped us out with a bit. We did a lot of brainstorming to put together a strategic plan. Yeah, how do we fix this? A strategic plan with all of the players, and just like a business would do. And the strategic plan had to be based on research, good research. Finding out what best practices are, what seems to be working in other communities. Yeah. And once we had that, we went through a series of brainstorming sessions, like I said, at the college. This was, I guess, just about a year ago we did this, and we came up with a strategic plan, and it was built around something called the Campus of Care, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then we got all of the shareholders or stakeholders, I should say, to sign off on it. Everyone was in agreement with it. Fantastic. And that was kind of the beginning of Barrie Care. So we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Nobody really heard of us until recently, until probably just the fall when we announced the Campus of Care. So that's the background as to how it came together and what it is. So it's all volunteers, and all these groups I mentioned are all part of it. Right.
Well, that's a fantastic way, I think, you've gone about it to make sure that you have buy-in from the people and the organizations that are actually going to be part of the solution.
Exactly.
It's impossible to do it alone. This is an issue that's not, we feel it here in Barrie for sure, but it's national, it's international. There's a rising homeless population, and there's different things that contribute to that. So it's great to hear that you've brought everyone in to try and solve it for our community, right? Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Could you describe like a specific problem and a solution that Barrie Cares has been an effort to address?
Well, for me, as a volunteer, and most of us, what was eye-opening for me is just the research when we first opened up to find out exactly how many people are facing homelessness as a challenge. how the numbers are, where people are, so on and so. And the county of Simcoe actually has really good research and real-time research on that it's available through a portal on their website. But we were able to analyze that, and this is similar in other communities, but in our community there was anywhere between sometimes 800 to up to 1,200 people that would be qualified as being homeless at any point in time, depending on what it is. And then the makeup of that is also, sometimes people think of homelessness as just, people downtown Barrie that are, and that is a part of it. There's certainly mental health issues, there's certainly drug addiction issues, but that is really that's a smaller portion of people who are homeless. A lot of people are homeless, you don't actually see them, or but they're there, and they're just people who are down on their luck and might have went through a divorce, lost their job. It could be a whole bunch of things, and they might be just sleeping on their friends' couches and so on and so forth. But that made up about 2/3 of this group.
Almost like an invisible homeless.
That's right. Yeah. So then you have to look at how do you handle a group that is diverse in the sense that the issues that have caused them to be homeless are not all the same story.
Right.
So the best practices often come around this, we're calling it a campus of care, but it's to have an entry point. It's to have a place where if somebody's facing homelessness, they can go. And there's a lot of great service providers out there that'll provide like a bed or furniture, like Busby or Redwood, or like these are all providers. We're not a provider. We're trying to work on a holistic solution.
Yeah.
But communities that have had good luck have set up what they call an entry point, like a triage place where people can come in, and then they, through the service providers that we work with through the county and Canadian Mental Health Association and the police and in the hospital, we can triage and find out what the person's challenges are, and then we can tailor the response to their need to what their challenge is. So that's what we're trying to create, and we're just in the midst of creating we're doing it in a 2-phase approach. So we just launched this year, it's called the phase 1 of the Campus of Care, and it's on Tiffin Street, and there was a paramedic building that was the county owned that they're not using anymore. So we are in the process, and we've just about finished it, of raising $250,000 to upgrade that so we can do this triage, but also put a kitchen in there and some other facilities, because the county of Simcoe right next door just put in an additional 40 beds with these modular units they bring in from out west. So that's what we've been working on now, and again, that is opening like as we speak in the next 6 weeks, and most of the funds have already been raised for it. And it's going to be that'll be the first kind of entry point. But that won't be the long-term solution. We need what we call a permanent campus of care.
Sure.
So the phase 2 would be like in the next couple of years, when we're working with the city and the county on getting some land to find a place that would probably involve something like a 20 to 30,000 square foot facility that can offer a lot of these services, so that people that again are facing it depends on what their challenge is. Absolutely. Are they looking for work, or do they have legal issues? Do they have, obviously if you start dealing with mental health and addiction, that's a whole different approach, but you have to be able to offer it as well.
So it's a systematic problem, but I think what I'm hearing is Barrie Cares is taking a very individualistic approach to helping individuals navigate their way to the next steps.
For the individual in the end, but really it's more of a holistic approach at the top end, because again, it's just getting people together, and we've been working behind the scenes on a few projects that have been going on that people may have heard about. One is called the Heart Hub, or the Heart of Simcoe County program, and that's a provincial program that where money was made available last year, and you needed to apply to the provincial government to get access to these funds, and this is particularly for people who have addiction issues. And we were able to be instrumental in bringing in Mayor Alex's office, Nuttall's office, like the RVH and Canadian Mental Health Association and other people, and to say, okay, how do we work on getting this application done and getting it in? And we did, and we were the first community in Ontario to get. And this Heart program, they can treat about 10 people a month. Now these are people that want to be treated, and they know that they have challenges, and because it's going to involve a hospital stay or counseling, whatnot, and it's been going on for about 4.5, 5 months now. So there's already about 50 people that have gone through that, of which the majority are coming out of it like in a much better place. And so that's just one small example of something that's kind of working that'll be integrated within the campus of care. And also we've just been instrumental in really helping, and this is in particular with the County of Simcoe, helping them advocate to get additional beds. And one of the last couple of winters, there's been people, there was just nowhere to go, capacity. So we've helped them add about 200 beds in the last year that are going to either be open, or they're open now, or going to be opening very soon. So it's been this kind of behind the scenes work that we've been doing that, again, will make an impact.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what makes a real tangible difference?
Sure.
So many community members, if you said earlier, at any given point, there's up to 1,200 people. 200 beds is a significant chunk to be adding to the capacity for the municipality and for the county, I guess, as a whole. But I think a lot of the population is centralized in Barrie because that's where a lot more of the supports are.
And most of our effort is on Barrie, although the county obviously looks after, and they have a lot of different projects in Aurelia and Collingwood and Midland and so on and so forth. What we're primarily focused on is Barrie, so that's why we're called Barrie Cares.
That makes sense. So I'm curious, when you mentioned that this campus of care is going to eventually, when you have that facility, you're going to make the effort to have the mental health support and addiction support. In the meantime, when somebody exits the current program, do they then will enter the campus of care? Like, are you planning on having the capacity to, if somebody were to walk in and say, I have a problem with addiction, I'm homeless, I need help, you want to be there to say, okay, we're going to assist you with your problems with addiction, we're going to build you back up to a point where then you can search for a job and get a dignified life sort of thing?
Yeah, and that's really ultimately, hopefully, the way the model will work, and we know it has worked in other places, and will, as we start it, and with this temporary campus of care, we'll get more. I should point out that Barrie Cares, again, we're a group of, there's probably about 12 of us that are just volunteers. We're not going to do any of this ourselves. We're not. That's not our area of expertise. We're not. It'll be the county, the city, Canadian Mental Health Association, RVH. They're the ones who are going to be doing the triage, and even the legal system too. Sometimes people they've gotten in trouble with the law, and that's one of the reasons why they're homeless. And there's a whole bunch of different problems that people face that there is no one solution, and that's why you have to. And right now, people don't know what to do or where to go. So this will be that, okay, let's assess what the situation is. And also people have to want to get help too. And and there are some people out there that, they just, and they just don't want to be helped at this point in time. And that's fine too. We're not, we're not going to do anything to force anybody to do anything they don't want to do.
You can lead a horse to water.
That's right. They have to have that desire to want to do it.
Yeah.
In your experience so far, have you found that a large portion of that population, those 1,200, do want help?
We think that the vast majority want help, and when I say 1,200, that number can fluctuate depending on the time of year, anywhere between 600-700 to over 1,000. It just depends on what it is.
Sorry, is that in Barrie? Is that in Barrie?
That's in Barrie,
Okay.
yeah. And then that's compared to before COVID of when we had about 300 to 400. So it's kind of doubled in 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's more of a crisis than it has been in a while, because it's a problem that everybody talks about it now, but 20 years ago it wasn't really as much of an issue. Housing was more affordable.
Yep.
There just wasn't there's always been homeless people, but there's never been to these numbers, and it just shows how how the governments, they have to respond to this, because if it wasn't an issue 20 years ago, they don't have an infrastructure to put into place, right? Yeah. So a lot of them have made good headway, and like I said, all of them have really good intentions, and they all have great resources and funds, frankly, that are available.
Right.
I think the missing thing was just that they weren't necessarily talking to each other.
Exactly.
As much. And so, like I said, most of us that are involved in Barrie Cares have a business background, and so it was more of a kind of a business approach to, do the research, identify the issues, put a strategic plan together, look at other best practices and get sign off from
bring
people.
in the appropriate stakeholders that can actually help to do this
Absolutely.
specified work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a healthcare professional, so I'm not going to be able to help someone, but I know someone who is, right?
Exactly.
That same idea.
Sure. So when we have a board meeting now, we have representatives from all these groups, and so we can talk to, right there, somebody from Canadian Mental Health Association or from RVH that deal with a lot of people end up there if there's drug issues and overdoses and so on and so forth. But also we have representatives, again, from the city and the county,
right.
and other groups that can all chime in and say, okay, well, we're working on this, or this is going on, or this is going, And also this year, obviously, what got a lot of attention in Barrie was the encampments the state of emergency that had to be put into place. And Barrie Cares did, we endorsed that approach, that I don't think that was safe for anybody.
Right.
And so I think that that was, but a lot of the pre-work for that had to be that you have to offer somebody a place to go if you're going to take them out of an encampment.
Right.
And we had to make sure that there was places for them to go.
Do you want to maybe expand on that a little bit? Because I understand that there was a little bit of controversy around that decision, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Well, this was a city declared emergency. We in Barrie Cares we try not to be political in any shape, way, or form. Other than but with this particular situation, again, the fact that we've done our research and we've looked at best practices and what works and what doesn't work in other areas, we knew that that had to be something that the city had to get under control. So we definitely agreed with backing it. I mean, people know that there was murders, and there was a lot of not good stuff that was going on in some of these encampments, and a lot of people get trapped in that.
Absolutely.
Because they don't have anything else to go. So what we're trying to do is to hopefully get to a position where people don't have to be forced to live in that type of situation, and they have some type of path to getting back to society, and to do it with integrity, and to do it with let them people have their own pride of accomplishment and doing it themselves. So and it's more of a dignity thing than anything else.
Well, I would imagine you build a lot of confidence if you're that individual who's, okay, I've asked for help, and now I've taken some steps to get to the other side, and look where I am now. Like there's growth in that on an individual level that I think helps steer them, hopefully in the future, to different decisions, right? So or better luck, hopefully.
So we're in early days. Like I said, we're going to open this temporary campus of care, which is literally within the next few weeks. And that will keep us going, but you'll be hearing a lot more about Barrie Cares in the media in the next few months as we launch what we call this permanent campus of care.
Fantastic.
anybody that wants information on it, we have barriecares.ca. It's very easy to get to,
Yeah.
and there's information on who we are, who's involved. It talks about the campus of care and the 2 phases of it, and like I said, we're just coming through the launch of the temporary campus of care. But the next one will require a lot more funding from all levels of government, but we will need some help from the community as well. So we'll be, we haven't announced a location yet. We're still in negotiations with the city on whether that's going to be. But it's going to be a place that is going to be on, somewhere that's on, people can get to. It has to be on a bus line and stuff like somewhere they can get to, and that we can make sure that at least we can triage and assess quick services for them there. And often they won't necessarily stay at the campus of care. They'll, depending on what their challenges are, what their needs, we'll direct them into the right direction. But it'll be the hub that they come back and forth within.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. I think it's a great approach to bring everybody together to help solve this challenge that many municipalities and places are facing. To do it in a collaborative approach is the right way. And thank you very much for your service to the community and your fellow board members and the individuals of Barrie Cares, because I think it's an issue that gets talked about
all the time.
All the time, very frequently at dining room tables, at coffee shops. Like, hey, what are we going to do? And this is an organization and a group of individuals who've really stepped up to say, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah. Well, and we'd love through home builders and all the people that you're going to touch, if anybody wants to get involved and they believe they can help. I mean, we are going to be doing fundraising, but we're going to be looking for a lot of expertise and help. So again, if they go to our website, there's a form you can fill out to, if you want to get more involved, and we'll get back to you and see if there's a fit there.
And just to reiterate, it was barriecares.ca.
Barriecares.ca, just like it sounds. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Paul. Thanks for coming.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to tell our story.
No, it's really exciting, and I'm going to challenge you here on the last one. If you could challenge everyone who listens to this podcast to do one small thing to care for their community, what would it be?
Well, are we talking Barrie Cares specific here?
Yeah,
or,
absolutely.
Well, I think everybody has a responsibility to want to help the community they're in if they're in a position to do it. Not everybody else is.
Absolutely.
So sometimes people can do it financially, but a lot of times they can't. Like they just don't have it. So, but this is just my personal attitude. Is I've always found that giving is a great mental health exercise, and you do that, and you seem to get more out of it than you put in from just a gratification point of view, because you know that you're helping people that are down on their luck, and you're making a difference.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Paul, for coming in. It's been a pleasure to have you in here.
No, my pleasure. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay. Well, that's it for today. If you'd like to join the podcast as a guest, reach out to us at podcast@Simcoe County Home Builders Association.ca, SCHBA.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.